Well, allow me to demonstrate for you a little bit of my act to refresh your memories, okay? One moment. And now, I will perform for you my very world-famous impersonation of a baby cry. Gratis, pues, thank you very much, Oh my goodness, you still don't know who I am. Well, allow me to give you another hint, if I may.
Of course.
All right. I have ruptured Francia's spleen. I have burst Italia's liver. New York's lungs are punctured and Hollywood's belly's aching because they all paid through the nose to see moi. Thank you.
That sounds rather painful. Are you some sort of doctor?
No. I am Pepito. Pepito, the international world famoso vaudeville clown.
Oh, I remember you now.
Gratis. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I was born on February the 16th, 1896, in Barcelona, España, yes, as Jose Escobar Perez. Now, while I was a young man doing my bicycle tricks in the neighborhood, a theater company approached me and said, "Why don't you become one of my performers?" Of course, I accepted. I did a little bit of everything in my act, and within 6 months, I was the featured attraction at the box office. See? Now, I left the theater shortly afterwards and was booked as a solo act that featured animals, comedy, and ventriloquism. So right, yes. This was both the beginning and making of my career. I even performed for the King and Queen of Spain as court jester. Within 2 years, my act had reached star status in Europe, and I was offered a contract to perform in Mexico and the United States. Now, this was a dream of mine, because when I was a child, my father used to read me stories about the great birth of this nation. So it was here that I birthed my stage persona, image, and title, Pepito, the international clown. Now, nobody in the United States had heard about me, but this was good because I was a fresh act in their eyes, and a clown besides. You see, back then, clowns were nothing more, in this country, were nothing more than laborers, roustabouts, workers who changed acts during the circus between the shows. And they wore the clown costume and the makeup to disguise themselves. Well, in Europe, clowns were highly regarded as artists with their own distinct style, makeup, wardrobe, and personality. See? Now, in 1920, Sid Grauman and Charlie Chaplin asked me to choreograph the prologue for Charlie Chaplin's new movie, The Circus, which was going to show at Grauman's Chinese Theater. Chaplin paired me with Joanne Farsley, who was a ballerina. She played a mechanical doll, and I played a clown. And guess what? The act was overwhelmingly received. Joanne was such a great actor. In fact, she could do everything that I could do, sometimes even better, see? And within a few years, our act not only grew stronger, but so did our affection for each other. By 1934, I realized that Joanne was my soulmate. So I asked her to be my wife. Siempre, mi amor, mi mamita, see? However, our final act as a duet occurred when we opened at a top resort. Can you imagine? They made Joanne top billing, and they displayed a cardboard cutout of her body in her most sensual outfit. Well, no husband could ever allow such an exploit, so we retired the act. During World War II, we moved to Orange County, where I opened a little business that featured deep sea fishing. Now, this business attracted such celebrities as Cary Grant, Clark Gable, even Desi Arnaz. And in fact, Desi and Lucy Arnaz became our best friends We spent a lot of summers together. Now, one day, Lucy came to me and asked me to help her with a pilot episode that she was promoting for CBS about a band leader and his wife who was always trying to get into the act. CBS had great difficulty accepting a mixed couple for TV, for prime time at the time. In fact, you know what they said? Oh, nobody's going to ever believe that such a person exists. But here were two that did in real life. Well, I created the cello gag that appeared in the pilot episode of CBS and disappeared later on. Now, CBS still did not accept Desi as Lucy's husband. So the two toured the pilot episode as a live performance throughout the United States. And it became an overnight success, and so they filmed it as a television special. Excuse me, it's hard this weather on my throat. So where was I? Oh yes, as the I Love Lucy show progressed, Lucy and Desi asked us to come out to Hollywood with some great offers, but Joanne and I were happy to be in Santa Ana. The smell of orange blossoms brought us to build a house here, which we transformed into a school of dance and performing arts. It is still on Ross Street, classes on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Thank you very much. A little later, Lucy and Desi honored us with the only copy of the pilot episode of the show. It was not until after my passing in 1990 that they showed it on TV on CBS. Oh my goodness. Look at the time. I have been talking so much that I have forgotten that I am late. Well, let me cut this short. They say that I passed away on July 13th, 1975. But how can this be when, mi amor, mi mamita Joanne continues to keep my spirit alive to this day? Yes, she is still alive. She is 95 years old and very, very spry. So, I still like to keep company with my mamita. I must bid you adieu, farewell, goodbye, and sayonara.